Our next speaker is Hope Singer, and up after that will be Oliver Bell. Good morning.
Good morning, Chairman Liebman, members Becker, Hayes, and Pierce. Thank you for allowing me to testify before you this morning. I truly appreciate it. My name is Hope Singer. I started working for the National Labor Relations Board in 1979 as a law student in Region 22 in Newark, New Jersey, and was hired as a field attorney in Newark in the fall of 1980. I stayed there for 5 truly wonderful, remarkable years, and at that time transferred to Region 31 in Los Angeles at the end of 1985. After a short period at Region 31, I went into private practice in Los Angeles in March 1987, and I've stayed in private practice with pretty much my same firm with different names, which I won't share with you because that'll take up the rest of my 5 minutes. The time that I've spent practicing as a union labor lawyer has been almost exclusively as a traditional union labor lawyer, unlike many other union lawyers who go into parts of employment practice law. I do nothing but exclusive representation of labor organizations as labor organizations. And I do that in Los Angeles County. In Los Angeles, if Los Angeles County were a state, it would be larger than 42 other states. If Los Angeles County were counted as an individual geographic entity, it would probably be better known that over 10 million people live and work in Los Angeles, and of that 10 million are 12% of all of the unionized workers in the United States in Los Angeles County. You would probably not be surprised to hear that in the private sector in Los Angeles, the entertainment industry is collectively the largest employer in Southern California. When I thought about what I could add to these proceedings, anticipating that 30 or 40 or 50 speakers were going to be before you, and many of them on the union side making one set of arguments while others on the management side making their arguments, what I thought I would try to do is bring some perspective from the other side of the country. The union density in the movie and television industry is among the highest in the United States. However, unlike the images many people have of what it means to make a movie, many of the movie crews, and I'm not talking about the casts, the directors, the writers, although some of this is true for them as well. I'm talking about the middle-class people who work as camera operators, hairdressers, makeup people who make movies. Those movie crews who work turning out films do not do it on the backlots of employer studios such as Paramount or 20th Century Fox with the images that we have of how movies were made from the movies of the 40s. That just doesn't exist anymore. What happens is that when most movies or television series are made, they're made by employers that are created for the distinct and specific purpose of creating that one product. So if, for example, a movie was going to be made called The Board, an employer would be created that would be called something like The Board, Inc. or The Board Movie, Inc. And everyone who worked on that movie would be employed by that one employer. It would be created for the sole purpose of making that one movie or creating that one television series. And once the movie had been completed, the employer disappears and the itinerant workforce disperses, much like their counterparts in the construction industry, but without an 8E type of situation. And so the next time they go to another employer, if they want to be represented by a union with that employer, they have to organize once again. In this industry, with its high union density, there's little doubt that most, if not all, of the employees who are able to want to work in jobs where they are represented by labor organizations. They've been able to establish decent middle-class wages. They've been able to establish health and pension funds that will take care of themselves and their families. And through the earning of these middle-class wages, Los Angeles has become, in large part over the last half century, a community where people can take care of themselves and their families through the work in that industry. When a new employer is established to make a movie and a substantial portion of the crew is hired, usually from the Los Angeles area, where the most skilled workers are, they're very likely to be union members and, as I said, anxious and eager to continue with their union representation for the reasons stated above. Under the current system, any employer who wishes to ensure that that there will be no union representation if the employees seek an election under the board can have that wish met, and the movie will be completed, released in theaters, distributed worldwide, with advanced DVD purchases available on Amazon, and ultimately in your neighborhood convenience store where you can pick it up before an election could even be held. In light of these significant delays, workers in this industry often choose an alternate, albeit legal, method of obtaining recognition for the union they seek to represent them. They strike. They shut down the production, thereby exercising their legally protected right to obtain union representation, but with the potential of economic impact on the community that could have been avoided if these folks had access to an election system that worked. I see that the red light is flashing. I would ask for another 30 seconds to 1 minute, if I may.
Surely.
My recollection of the history of the Act is that one of the reasons in passing the Act was to avoid labor strife that brought economic consequences into the community. I'm fascinated by the stories that the media picks up to run in any particular area, and in labor in particular. Of the dozens, possibly hundreds of strikes in the entertainment community, the media recently focused on a strike that occurred on a reality TV show called The Biggest Loser, which occurred last fall. 40 or 50 employees struck and eventually won recognition. The story was covered not only in Southern California, but throughout the country. And it struck me as somewhat incongruous that within this context, the fact that the workers had to resort to a strike, causing the employer to lose money, causing the workers to lose money, causing a shutdown of a fairly significant production, that the biggest loser was the workers and the employer, because they were the ones who lost, because the workers could not get an election in a timely fashion. Thank you.
Thank you. My colleagues have questions? Thank you for
Thank you.
coming all the way here to share your thoughts with us.